I got one coming.
We are live.
All right, we're going to call the meeting to order. This is it's January 21, 2026 at 5 p.m. We're calling the meeting of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission to order. The first item on the agenda, issue 2026-1, is election of president for 2026. So we open it for nominations.
Mr. President, I nominate Dale Buck for president of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission.
I second it.
Whoa.
Oh, can't second it?
Time out.
Okay.
Let the county clerk have input.
All right,
Oh, I'm sorry. You could have called.
Apologize.
Good.
sorry.
We're all good here.
No, I apologize.
Okay, so we do have a nomination on the floor. We do need a nomination on the floor for president of the Berkeley County Civil Service Commission. So do we have a nomination?
Mr. Clerk, I nominate Mr. Dale Buck to be president of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, Mr. Dale Buck, president. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Steve.
Yes.
Any discussion with that?
The discussion I would like to put in is that I'm aware that Commissioner Wilson does a good bit of the work that's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if he wanted the position, it should be granted to him.
I am satisfied with Mr. Buck's performance and his abilities to do things. He is the voice of reason that keeps us moving forward and doing the job that he does, and I don't think there's anybody any better suited for this job than him.
Okay,
Any further nominations? Guess not.
okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor for Mr. Dale Buck as president of the Civil Service Commission, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, we'll go ahead and swear you in.
All right.
You can stand right there. Before me, Anthony J. Petrucci, clerk of the county, and state aforesaid personally appeared Dale Buck, who has been duly appointed as president of the Berkeley Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission, and took and subscribed the following. So, I, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Dale Buck,
Do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia.
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia.
I state your name.
I, Dale Buck,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of the president of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission
of the President of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and judgment.
and judgment.
My appointment as president
My appointment as president
will be effective January 21st, 2026,
will be effective January 21st, 2026,
and will expire on January 20th, 2027.
and will expire on January 20th, 2027.
So help me God.
Help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. You can sign this after me, and I'll give this to John.
Okay.
My fee is the same as last year with just another zero in front.
Okay, all right. We have room in the budget for that.
Yeah, I think we do. Okay. I know you've got a agenda here. I'd just like to say a few things. When I became clerk, this Civil Service Commission was somewhat in disarray. I'm not blaming anybody at all, but to this day, I can't thank Mr. Alderton, who does a lot of work for you all. I see what he does. He's up 2 offices up from me, all the time bugging me about something, which is fine, and it's always pertinent to this. He's always asking about the budget, which is important. Matter of fact, the budget's going to be basically the same as this year's. We took a look at it, and it's not any additions. We did have that addition last year for going outside of, the state for, recruitment, which,
Testing.
testing, which, the commission didn't approve that, which was fine. I'm not saying in the future you might want to look at that, but we didn't do it this year. So, anyway, I'm gonna thank everybody for serving on this board, and certainly you gentlemen, and your staff, sheriff, and great job, so. Okay,
All right,
I'm
thank you.
done.
Okay.
John, this is that, we report that tomorrow.
Yes,
I think everything's on there, right?
That's what I needed.
Okay?
Your 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
All right. Well, the next item on the agenda, 2026-0002, is welcoming new Civil Service Commissioner Stephen Vi.
Thank you.
I know everybody, most people, I believe everybody knows Mr. Vi, former lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office,
Yes, sir.
currently employed by Customs and Border Patrol,
Yes, sir.
and you were nominated by the Deputy Sheriff's Association.
Mhm. Thank
So,
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, approval of the minutes. Has everyone had an opportunity to see the minutes from December 17th, 2025?
Yep.
Any additions, deletions, corrections?
None on my part, sir.
Hearing none, do we approve?
Yes, sir.
Take a motion to approve,
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
and I will second. All in
Second.
favor, say aye.
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 Budget update informally. Mr. Alderton.
Okay. You do have before you the budget report that actually Clerk Petrucci ran for me this morning at 8:45. And there is a little change from last month, and I'll cover that here in a second. There was no change from last month's report related to postage. The obligation rate remained at 4.7%, reflecting an amount of $1,429.37. Where the change does occur is that in advertisement and publication. There has been a change from last month's report. The obligation rate for the prior month was 16.5%. Totaling $8,772.25. For the current month, the obligation rate increased to 21.2%, totaling $8,269.25. The $503 difference reflects payment of a journal invoice in the amount of $503. It was for a one-time run announcing our test in December that we would be giving a test for open entry on January 10th. I do anticipate an additional change next month's report due to there's a pending invoice. Actually, there's going to be 2 of them. One is for local IQ totaling $750 for digital advertisements that ran 1 December through 31 December. And there should be a postage change next month to mail back the test from Saturday, January 10th. It was $68 and some odd cents, and I don't recall what that was. So, I mentioned the digital advertisement. Let me just touch base upon that for a second. You folks have before in your packet there the statistic report from them. Back in November when I broached this with you all to go with them for digital advertisements, there was 2 terms that I used: impressions and clicks. Impressions equal if somebody is on Indeed or the job boards that are out there, or even their cell phone, iPad, desktop computer, and our advertisement for hiring would pop up, and they scroll back. That's considered an impression. We had 93,858 impressions that ran on various social medias and job boards and what have you, which led to 64 clicks, meaning someone looked at the actual job announcement. Since it leaves, after they click on it, it leaves their website and comes to the Berkeley County online application website, the tracking stops because it's now on our servers and they can't get to our servers. So I cannot tell you, nor can anyone within the county tell you how many of those 64 actually submitted an application to us. And I'll get into application numbers here in a little bit. But you have before you a report. It's a 22-page report. It shows you the highest number of clicks per day, the impressions. It tells you more than you want to know, I'll be honest. So with that, that's kind of the summary for the local IQ advertising.
John, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
What's CTR?
I knew you was going to ask that, and I don't know.
Okay.
I tried to get in touch with the gentleman that I've been dealing with.
Well, the graph looks identical to clicks.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
I will answer that next month, I
Okay.
promise you. So then you move on to professional services. There was no change from last month's report. The obligation rate remained at 0%, reflecting an amount available of $10,000. And to our new member on the commission, the $10,000 for professional services, sir, that's pretty much should we need legal questions. Mr. Patrick Henry is on retainer as the Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commissioner attorney. So if we would need, we started out with a $500 retainer. We did have to seek his service for a question. That took $100 off, so we're down to him still one with us for $400. But that's where the professional services comes from. The other thing that could end up coming out of that, if we were to have a public hearing and the commission needed to pay a witness, like a doctor or somebody like that, to come in for testimony, and they submit a fee, that would come out of that as well.
Gotcha.
So, the available budget reflects $19,698.62 with an overall obligation rate of 10.5%, which we'll have that roughly until the end of May, first part of June, when the county, whatever we haven't obligated, they will pull back. Folks, that's your budget report. Do you have any questions at this time?
Sounds like no questions. Okay. Old business, issue 2025-26, request for new open hire physical agility written examination, August 23rd, 25.
Okay, with that one, the sheriff's office has exhausted their current list of eligible candidates. A recommendation has been submitted to hire 2 applicants, Mr. Timothy Everhart, which that gentleman actually, I swore him in today at the sheriff's office at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The other applicant that they want to hire is a Brady Hemp from the eligible list, which those 2 were the only 2 on the list that exhaust their. They're looking to hire Mr. Hemp first part of February, I believe. I don't think that's changed. First part of February. As I said, I administered the oath of office to Mr. Everhart this afternoon. Later in the meeting, you all as commissioners will be required to formally approve or disapprove the hiring of applicants Everhart and Hemp. But that's a verification letter. Those went out in your read aheads. It was a hiring recommendation of the sheriff, and with a second letter from Chief Young stating they had met all the requirements. So that'll come up later. Would like to have you make a recommendation to, or a motion to close this item, because it talks about requests for new open hire and physical agility, and it was opened on August 23rd, or the test was August 23rd. There's no one else on the list. So.
Okay.
Right.
Their motion to close?
I make a motion to close item 2025-0026.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Closed.
Thank you.
Issue 2025-44, request for new open hire physical agility written examination, read Chief Young's letter dated October 20th, 2025, as well as update on online application.
So we gave a test on Saturday morning, January 10th at Martinsburg football field in their weight room. We had 49 eligible candidates to test that morning. There was, in the process of the online applications, we had a total of 17 rejections. We had 25 folks withdraw. When I say withdrawal, we took it clear up to, I had one applicant send an email at 10 minutes of 8 that morning that they were not going to be able to test, so I took it as a withdrawal all the way up to that point. We had 25 withdrawals, and that went from 1 October to basically 7 or 10 January. The impressive number for me really is we had a total of 91 applications. That's the most applications online, whether it's online or paper copy, that I can recall in years. So here was a breakdown of how it played out for test day. We had a total of 53 applicants that were scheduled to participate on January 10th. However, prior to the starting of testing, we were notified of applicants that would not be reporting, reducing the number of participants then to 49, as I previously mentioned. There were 18 candidates of that 49 that were no-shows on the day of testing. This reduced the number of applicants present to 31. Of the 31 applicants, 20 were required to complete the physical agility test, as 11 were previously or currently certified law enforcement officers and were therefore exempt. And Commissioner Vi, they are therefore exempt by the commission's rules and regulations.
Yes, sir.
They say they don't have to test, basically. We had 5 applicants out of those ones that tested for the physical agility. 5 applicants did not successfully complete the physical agility test. 2 failed push-ups, completing only 16. The other applicant completing 14 of the required 18 push-ups. 1 applicant failed sit-ups, completing 24 of the required 28 push-ups. And 2 failed the 1.5-mile run. Both exceeded the maximum allowable time by not completing the run. This left 26 applicants, eligible applicants for the written test, including those 11 officers to proceed to the written exam. The written exam commenced at 11 a.m. and was administered at the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office. A total of 26 applicants sat for the exam. Of those 20, of those 26, 22 achieved a passing score. One of the certified officers didn't pass the written examination. The written examination consisted of 84 questions, and the applicants were afforded 2 hours to complete the exam. Commissioner Wilson was the overall test proctor for that day, the overall test proctor. The test results were received in our office on Wednesday, January 14th, 2026 at 10:35 a.m. from the West Virginia Division of Personnel. In accordance with the applicable rules, 10 applicants were awarded 5 points for being previously or currently certified law enforcement officers. One applicant was awarded 5 points for veterans preference, and 3 of the applicants were awarded 10 points for veterans preference points due to a service-connected disability. And an applicant, no matter, and this was something I guess Commissioner Wilson and I both learned on this process, it didn't matter if it was 100% disabled veteran, they got the 10 points, or if it was a 10% disabled person.
Because the one person was what, 90 and had that question, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's when we really found out about it a little bit.
Gotcha.
So that's how that played out. And the scores, it was quite interesting to see what their initial score was. And when you add points to them, I mean, there was 3 of them that got a total of 15. 2 of them got a total of 15 points. They were both a disabled service-connected veteran, and they were a current or previously certified law enforcement officials. So they got 15 points added to their
Yeah.
score. That's pretty good. In your packets, you all have a sheet that looks like this. That has the scores in ranked order from the highest to the lowest. I would like to point out that the number 2 applicant on your list sent an email to me last night about 7:30, something like that, maybe 7:25, that he wanted to withdraw from consideration. No reason was given other than he just wanted to withdraw. So, yesterday I emailed all applicants the scores, individual scores, and I also provided them with that listing that I just referred to, and 11 question survey related to the study guide. Trying to get some feedback. This is only the second group to use a study guide offered by the West Virginia Division of Personnel. So trying to get us a little feedback and them a little feedback. Mostly them, because that's how it's going to improve if they provide another rewrite of it. So, and Commissioner Wilson will later in the meeting provide you with a summary of the applicant inquiry reviews. I would like to also again make a request for Commissioner to make a motion to close this item. And the reason, my rationale for wanting it closed is the title. As this title is Request for New Open Hire Physical Agility and Written Examination, Chief Young's letter dated,
October 20th.
yes, as well as the update of online applications. I would recommend with that next month to add a new proposed issue number, and that would be 2026-006, titled eligible candidates for hire are reference January 10th, 2026 examination. But that closes this one out with old verbiage.
I move we close issue 2025-44.
A second motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, issue 2025-45, well, budget, we've already discussed that briefly,
This one is for 26,
Oh, I see.
27
correct?
budget.
Yes, sir.
No change from last month. Clerk Petrucci has submitted the budget 26-2027 to the county commissioners. He's still scheduled to go before them to present his budget here in the chambers to the county commissioners at their weekly meeting on Thursday, January 29th at 3:30 in the afternoon. So, and with that, there's no further update.
Moving on to issue 2025-47, annual report.
And still gathering information and organizing thoughts to incorporate into the 2025 report. Commissioner Bai, I will get with you and need you to write up a brief bio for yourself.
Yes.
That will be submitted in there, and I will give you a template to go by.
Awesome, thank you.
And also, I have reached out this year to Mr. Matt Umstead with the county. He's the director of Office of Strategic Planning and Communications. And I'm seeking his help in formatting this annual report. I will provide all of the information, verbiage, what have you. Just basically asking him for the bells and whistles to make it look good. So we talked about when we use some numbers and things like that, instead of writing out a narrative, maybe use like a pie chart. What have you. And as a reminder, if you want something in there, let me know what you want, please. At this time, there's no further updates on the 2025 annual report.
Any further discussion? We move on to issue 2025-49, online application review. Commissioner Wilson?
Okay, we're just going to highlight what we have here. Basically, all this has been done. It's taken care of. It was finished up for the test on 10 January. But just so that we're on the record, so you know what's going on, any inquiries that we made, which is basically based upon the application, when we looked at the applications and we've seen that there was things that didn't match up. So we would go back and make inquiries up. And from there, we would decide whether to move forward or whether we would reject those because of the rules and regulations. So there were several there, so I'm just going to go over them real quick. Again, these have all been finalized, but just so that everybody's on the same page. So you should have a spreadsheet there. It says Wilson's Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission new hire applicant inquiries. If you go to number 21, that's the first one that we hadn't discussed before this commission. And that particular one there, and again, we deal with the applicant numbers here. We won't use applicant names. So number 21, the issue was on the application says, have you within the last 5 years, the day of this application, had a history of bad debt, unaddressed debt, or bankruptcy? We made an inquiry. As of the 30th of December, they never responded back to us, so we rejected that one. Applicant number 22. Number 22 says you've been clean and sober from alcohol and all illegal substances and scheduled narcotics. When we made the inquiry, they wrote back to us and said that they misread the application, that they marked it wrong, and that they would change their answer. So we put down as wrong answer. We said to move forward with that application. And it's important to keep in mind, everything they do here, I do a letter on every one of these that gets attached to their application. So anything moves forward to you and your investigator sheriff will get to see that. Applicant number 25. Applicant number 25 says, have you within the last 5 years from the date of this application had a history of bad debt, unaddressed debt, or bankruptcy? This person responded back and said, student loans that I was told that the military is paying for and never paid. In the process of getting them addressed, my ex-wife has a vehicle I co-signed for, and she's terrible making the payments. The applicant did respond back and said that they give us payment details, what they've been working on. Says, the question was, what is the current payment plan for the student loans? Yes, the military is paying the loans, and if they're not paid in a prompt period of time, I will begin paying them myself. It's in my military contract that my student loans will be repaid. What is the current payment plan for the vehicle loan? She's paying her monthly bills on time. So based upon that, and again, when we look at what it says, a history of bad debt, we're looking at excessive debt and a continuous history. We didn't see that, so we said we'd move forward with that application. Applicant 27 says, have you been clean and sober from alcohol and any and all illegal substances and scheduled narcotics? And their answer back to us was, hi, sorry, I must have selected the wrong option. And the prompt, I do not use any drug or narcotics, and I rarely consume alcohol. So we said we'd move forward with that application as well. Applicant 28, have you been clean and sober from alcohol and any and all illegal substances or scheduled narcotics? And have you used marijuana, synthetic or natural, within the 12 months prior to this application? As of 10 January 2026, they failed to provide any response to the requested inquiry, so we rejected their application, did not allow them to move forward. Applicant number 29, have you within the last 5 years from the date of this application had a history of bad debt, unaddressed debt, or bankruptcy? They responded back and said, I have since cleared nearly all of my debt and have only one remaining amount of $443 that I plan to finish paying in the next 2 weeks. When we went through and looked at that, we didn't see a problem if that was going to move forward. However, this person had also requested veterans preference. When we went out and looked at the veterans preference and looked at their DD Form 214 and a general discharge, the general discharge was marked for misconduct that was drug related. They did not declare this in their application. So they failed to disclose that they had been dismissed from public service for misconduct. And based upon that, we rejected their application and did not allow them to move forward. Applicant number 30, have you been clean and sober from alcohol and any and all illegal substances or scheduled narcotics? They responded back on 1 January, said, I am beyond sorry. IMIS, whatever that means, accidentally hit no and missed it again when I double checked it. Yes, I have been sober. So based upon that, we went ahead and moved forward with their application. Applicant number 31, are you a citizen of the United States? Have you been clean and sober from alcohol and any and all illegal substances or scheduled narcotics? And have you failed to provide child support payments or court-ordered obligations? Their answer was it was computer internet issues, occasionally drinks a few beers on the weekends, and and the last one again for computer internet issues. They were blaming their computer on their answers that they put on their application. We was going to go ahead and move forward, but before we did, on 9 January, they withdrew their application for consideration. And then print off the last three, I guess. Applicant number 1 under 2026.
I didn't.
Let me see if I can bring that up real quick.
I forgot that was in a different tab.
Okay, and the 2026-0001 says, have you within the last 5 years from the date of this application had a history of bad debt, unaddressed debt, or bankruptcy? And they responded back some low amounts in the collections, and we received that response. But before we could even move forward with that, they withdrew their application on the 9th of January. And then applicant number 2, 2026, have you associated with convicted felons or those individuals that are under criminal investigation or indictment? Their answer was ex-wife has felony convictions, divorced in 2015. Only interaction between us is a child exchange. We do not associate with one another outside of this exchange. And this person is also a current officer in the local police department, and they have already submitted their certificate to show that they are a current certified officer in the state of West Virginia. So based upon that, we moved forward with that application. With that being said, I think, well, we did do number 3 as well. I'm sorry. Number 3, it says, have you ever sold drugs for profit or taken part in an illegal enterprise such as carrying drugs for sale by a friend, family, or providing transportation for a friend or family for the purpose of acquiring or distribution of any illegal substance for sale? They responded back to us on the 3rd of January and said, in my lifetime, I bought and shared, distributed marijuana about 20 times. I started buying and sharing marijuana in fall of 2009, and I stopped in fall of 2010. I was trying to fit in. I figured if I bought marijuana and shared it with others, then they would think I was cool. I was aged 17 to 18 years of age while this occurred. This person is also a currently certified law enforcement officer in the state of Pennsylvania. Based upon the issue that the person was a juvenile, and we try to be understanding, take things into consideration, we made the decision to move forward with the application. We'll let that go to the investigators and to you, Sheriff, to decide whether that's somebody you'd want to take a chance on or not at a later point in time. I can say that that person did pass everything on that particular day. So those were the inquiries that we had prior to the testing on the 10th, and the answers that we gave and how we moved forward from there. I don't see no further issues with those, and that really brings us up to date. We don't have any open applications at this point in time. I don't see any further discussion on those, sir.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Moving on to issue 2025-50, eligible names versus eligible list process.
I'm sorry. Do we want to close that item? The last time I
Oh,
was, I'm sorry.
surely.
Then I recommend we go ahead and close 2025-0049.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
All right, that's closed. Okay, now we're moving on to 2025-50, eligible names versus eligible list process, provided the Sheriff of Berkeley County names. Ray, email between Sheriff Blair and Mr. John Taylor. Is that open for all to discuss? Mr. Wilson, are you leading that discussion?
I guess I can. Sir. Okay, this is one we've had a lot of discussion on, and in our last meeting in December, we talked about a new process for selecting for multiple vacancies. And if you recall, Sheriff, we talked about that in great detail, and what we decided at that meeting on the commission was that we would come up, or we would go ahead and use a new procedure. We just needed to write down everything so we have the exact steps. I have done that, and actually I presented a copy of that to Chief Young last week so he could take a look at it and see. I have written addendums to cover that. There are 3 addendums, 2025-006, 2025-007, and 2025-008. Now, the purpose of having 3 addendums is simple. To put this into our rules and regs, I had to move some things around in the regs. So 006 and 008 are simply moving things in the regulation to make space to put 007, which is actually the steps and procedures. I guess really at this point, the best thing to do would be go ahead and let's talk about those real quick. 006 was simply striking a paragraph and where it said, prior to the sheriff making an offer of employment to a deputy sheriff applicant. We struck that out because under multiple vacancies, it's going to be a little bit of a different procedure. So all we did was strike that one on 006. On 008, what we did was we changed paragraph numbers. We changed paragraph 4 to read as paragraph 5. We didn't take nothing out of it. We just moved it down. Because what we're going to do under 007, we're going to take and under Article 2, employment as a deputy sheriff, Section 9, under written test results, paragraph 4 will now read as multiple vacancies. I'm going to go through this a little bit. Hopefully, I think everybody's on the same page. Sheriff, did you get a copy of that? Did Chief share a copy of that with you?
He did discuss it. What he discussed with me was very satisfying.
You want to take a look at my written notes here? You can take a look at that. It will follow right along. What we did under that article and section, it talks about the selection procedures. That's in accordance with the state code. if we had one vacancy, then you would get 3 names to select from, okay? And that's what's in paragraph 3, paragraph 3 of that particular section. Paragraph 4, we're going to address multiple vacancies, which you have right now. I believe you have currently 7 vacancies. You had talked with, I think, Mr. John Tier, or you had information from him and discussing the way that they did things. So we looked at that and we said, how can we make this work and work efficiently? We believe what we have here now will help us with that to speed this process up so we don't slow the process down and we can make things happen a lot quicker for everybody. Also understanding that everything here is not just on the Civil Service Commission, but it falls back to you and the Sheriff's Office as well, doing the background investigations. So let me go down through this and let's see if everybody's on the same page. Paragraph 4 will now read as follows. Multiple vacancies. For multiple vacancies, and in an effort to provide for a speedy and cost-efficient selection process, the following procedures will be utilized after the list of test scores is received by the Civil Service Commission from the West Virginia Division of Personnel. The Civil Service Commission will provide the sheriff with a list of eligible applicants that have passed the written test. Each eligible applicant will have any additional points authorized, i.e., veteran preference and law enforcement officer certification, added to the test scores before the list is provided to the sheriff. Subparagraph C, the list will be sorted by the total score from the highest to the lowest. The sheriff will begin the initial background investigations of the eligible applicants. Now, I highlighted initial because what we want everybody to understand is this is going to be a 2-part background, basically. Initial is going to be what you all are doing with your investigators and getting everything started. The second half, as we're going to see it, is it's going to relate to is psychological, the polygraph, and the medical. Okay. So the initial background investigation does not include the polygraph examination, psychological examination, or the medical examination. As these examinations are costly, they will not be administered until the sheriff is ready to make a conditional offer of employment. Subparagraph E states the sheriff may, after completing initial backgrounds on some of the eligible applicants, may request a special meeting with the Civil Service Commission to begin a selection process. The names of the eligible applicants under consideration with completed initial background investigations must be in the same order as listed on the initial scoring document provided to the sheriff by the Civil Service Commission. The sheriff will notify in writing the Civil Service Commission of the names of the eligible applicants he is ready to consider to begin making the selections from. The Civil Service Commission will verify the eligible applicants are in the proper ranking order based upon the initial scoring listing of eligible applicants. Subparagraph F, the Civil Service Commission will hold a special meeting with the sheriff to discuss the selection of eligible applicants. At the meeting, the sheriff will be given the top 3 names from the list, and the sheriff will then make a single selection from that list for the first vacancy. Once the selection has been made and approved by the commission, the sheriff will be given the next name from the eligible list. This will give him 3 names to choose from for the next vacancy. This procedure, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry,
Okay.
we'll bring it up later.
This procedure will be repeated until all vacancies are filled or until the list of eligible applicants is depleted. If there are still unfilled vacancies, once the sheriff has completed the next set of initial background investigations in proper order, another special meeting can be requested and the procedures will be repeated. Want to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Subparagraph G, all eligible applicants selected in this process may be given a conditional offer of employment by the sheriff. Keeping with the requirement of West Virginia State Code, each vacancy must be filled one at a time and in order. However, this is not the final offer of employment. This offer will only be final upon the successful completion of the following examinations: a polygraph examination, a psychological examination, and a medical examination. Subparagraph H, in the event that an eligible applicant fails one of the above listed examinations, the name of the next eligible applicant that had been selected will be moved up to be considered for that specific vacancy. This procedure will be followed for all selected eligible applicants for the additional vacancies. Subparagraph I, once an eligible applicant has successfully completed all requirements for employment, the sheriff will submit in writing to the Civil Service Commission this completion and the sheriff's request to finalize the hiring of the eligible applicant. That's the procedures as we have written.
I apologize, Commissioner Wilson, for
That's okay.
bringing this up at this point. This jumps out at me that something, we've now said we're going to give the top 3 names, and we know that at times it's going to be 4 names.
That is correct. Our rules and regs say that if there is a tie in the third position, then they'll get the tie. So it could be a 2-way tie, it could be a 3-way tie. And so you're going to get 3 names. Depending on how many is tied in the third position, you could get 4, maybe 5, 6. And currently, the list that you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 have the exact same score. So you would get the top 4 names.
Yeah. Elsewhere in the rules, we do say that if there's a tie, that to be given the additional name, right?
That is correct. Our rules do say that.
Who's out?
Excuse me?
Who's out?
So you still have 3 names.
Yeah, you still have 3 names. In this case, what you have now, since the one withdrew, the persons, which would actually be a number 2, are tied, so that gives you 3 names. So we stop at that. And if you look at your list, if you select a person from that list, you're going to get 2 more names because the next 2 names are tied, and I think the next 2 names after that are tied. So
And the next 2, and the next 2, and the next 2.
it's going to get interesting in the process. But yes, our rules and regs say any ties in the third position, he will get the total numbers for that.
Okay.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So, Mr. President, do you have any questions? Mr. Vai?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I'm going to make a motion that the addendum as presented be adopted by the commission and incorporated into the rules and regulations of the Berkeley County Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission. That is for the addendum 2025-006.
006 would be the strike, 007 will be the rules, and 008 will be the change of paragraph. They really, all 3 need to go together.
Yeah.
Right.
And I will so move that they all go together, 6, 7, and 8.
I second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
All in favor of the addendum, addenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, so
Okay.
those 3 are adopted.
Who seconded that?
I second it. Dale's first.
Okay, thank you.
And before we adjourn tonight, we've got to sign these.
Yes, we do.
All right, there are other addendum, are they on our addendum right now? They're next on the agenda.
Let's see, okay, so which,
001. 26-001.
okay, yeah, I'm looking on my thing, here trying to figure out where was that there. Okay, so we're actually to issue 2025-0052.
We are moving on to 5.2, yes.
Okay, all right. The next 2 addendums are, these are minor changes, and as we were going through this whole process, we found a couple of little things that we need to make sure that we're clarified. So addendum 2026-001. What we want to do is add a paragraph, and we're adding it to Article 2, Employment, Section 14, Retesting. And this deals with, where we're saying, when I do the inquiries and if we reject somebody. What we want to put in here says, any applicant that was rejected during the initial application process and before the written examination was given is eligible to reapply for the next announced vacancy. Currently, our rules say if someone is removed for cause, then they can't reapply for 36 months. Yeah, 3 years, 36 months. But we didn't address this under rejected, and we thought, we don't want to do this because it might be something small. It could be something that's a history of debt or something they could get corrected maybe within 6 months to a year. So what we want to do is to amend our rules to add the paragraph that says any applicant that was rejected during the initial application process and before the written examination was given is eligible to reapply for the next announced vacancy. That's 001. Do we want to vote on that one first?
I'll make a motion that we accept and adopt addendum 2026-001 and incorporate it into the rules.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It is
The second one, which is 2026-002, again, this came up, we're doing all this, and this really boiled down to the 10-point veteran preference. And in the process, we found out that the VA issues a very specific letter. It's a VA benefit summary letter that tells us all the information that shows that they are eligible for the 10-point preference. So we didn't know that before. So all we're doing here is we're going to add, and under Article 2, employment, and Section 8, veterans preference and previous law enforcement, we're going to take and change paragraph 2 to read as follows. Any applicant wishing to claim veterans preference in accordance with West Virginia Code 613-2 must provide to the commission a certified copy of the individual's DD Form 214. Additionally, if claiming an injury or hardship, copies of any documentation, medical or otherwise, showing they were discharged due to injury or hardship must be provided. This documentation will be in the form of a VA benefits summary letter and will need to be provided to the commission no later than the day of the written examination. If the individual meets the requirements to receive the additional points, the points will be added to the written examination score. So the part we're adding is just simply, this documentation will be in the form of a VA benefits summary letter. That way, everybody knows exactly what they got to have. There is no, ifs, ands, or buts about it. So we can take it from there.
We might have some discussion from the floor. Chief Burdette.
I just want to make sure that 2026-001 and 2026-002, they weren't, there's a take on that. Am I wrong on that?
They weren't what, I'm sorry?
Those two numbers that you guys just said could change with the thing right here.
Oh.
2026-001 and 002 is already taken.
The others were 2025.
Yeah.
6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 was 2025-006, 007, 008.
2026-001.
Mm-hmm.
Look at page 1.
Yeah.
Under what-
Election president, 26001.
You're talking, this is issues that's related to what we're dealing with as far as
Not
our agenda.
agenda.
These are addendum numbers
Oh,
to the rules and regs. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I can see the
Oh, good
confusion.
catch.
He wasn't to see. I really like it when you come to these meetings, Chief. So, okay, so,
Thank you, but we got it, yeah.
no,
Okay.
good catch.
Now, wait, where are we? We had the motion, we had the second, we had the vote. Right?
For
For 01, we haven't done 02 yet.
26-01.
There we go, okay,
Now you need to do 02,
okay.
002.
Well, I'll make a motion that we adopt addendum 2026-002 and incorporate it into the rules.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So adopted.
Okay, that will catch us up on those particular issues there. I think that's all that I have. I'll shut up for a
It
little bit.
is.
All right. Moving on to new business.
Please see me before you leave for signature.
Moving on to new business, issue 2026-0003, online applications, right, open and closing dates for accepting applications continuously.
This issue is what I requested be brought up for tonight's meeting. The purpose is to to give a brief break in accepting the applications because with 22 people on the list, eligible list, it could be another 6 months before, once we get people hired and what have you. My concern stems over somebody submitting an application now, and we don't give a test until May or so. I'm afraid they're going to get discouraged, and as we've already found out with this last cycle, they do go elsewhere. So trying to narrow that down. I don't want to say it. Like to maybe think about opening it back up when I get feedback from the sheriff, Chief Young, Chief Burnett, that we're probably about 3, maybe 4 months out from wanting to give another test. And then we will open it up for that 3 to 4 months out.
Ask a question about that.
Sure.
Just for clarification, say we get to full capacity or we hire up to our full allotment, does that automatically then expire the list that we would have? We wouldn't hold it in case we would develop a vacancy. It would just, once we get the full, the list is over.
Many years back when the rules were rewritten, and I'm talking about probably back around 2014, there was a ruling by Judge Wilkes, and he said that the Civil Service Commission had to do one of two things. Either give a new test every time there was a vacancy, or they could hold a test for 2 or 3 years. That commission decided not to hold a test for the simple reason is, we've got this test here, okay, we get done, and maybe a year and a half down the road, you have a vacancy. If you're holding that test, that's all the names you got. You may have good eligible applicants.
Okay, I
They
just want
they
to
could
clarify
reapply.
that.
So that commission decided not to. The rules and regs say that it'll be a new test held every time that there's a vacancy.
Okay.
So I'd like for one of you to make a motion to close this issue number, 2026-0003. And then when we go to do a new test, we give it a new issue number and a new issue number and title.
Okay. Let's see if I can make this right. I make a motion that we close issue 2026-003 for the online applications. Let's do it in a two-piece motion. Let's close this one first.
Mhm.
All right. Second. There's a motion, there's a second. Any discussion? In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unopposed, it passes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wilson?
Okay, I'll make a new motion that when we are aware of a new vacancy, that we will reopen the online applications and assign it a new number at that point in time.
Mhm.
All right. All right. I'll second the motion. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's adopted. So that 2026-0003 is closed. And if there is a new vacancy, we will open the online application process.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2026-004, hiring recommendation letter received from Sheriff Blair dated December 18th, 2025, and Chief Young's letter dated December 22nd, 2025. Grade Timothy Everhart.
Yes, sir. You folks have before you, there's 2 letters. We'll take it this one. For applicant Timothy Everhart. One of those letters is a hiring recommendation from the sheriff that went to the county commission. A few days later, Chief Young sent a letter through stating that applicant Everhart has fulfilled all the requirements, and Chief Young is wanting the commission's approval is to verify his employment with the sheriff's office. So I just need you to approve his hiring, although he was hired
He's
today.
already been sworn in.
He's already been sworn in. Yes, sir.
Just a formality.
Yes, most likely, yes.
All right. I will make a motion that we accept the sheriff's recommendation and the letter of Chief Young regarding the hiring of Timothy Everhart.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Are we going to do the same thing with Mr. Hemp?
Correct. Same thing for Mr. Hemp. You have the letters.
I'm going to move that we accept the recommendation of the sheriff and Chief Young regarding the hiring of Brady Hemp.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? In favor say aye.
Aye.
That's done. Okay. Those two items are done and should be closed.
Sure.
All right, items from the floor.
I have one item. Since we have approved those addendums and we've put those into our rules and regs, I would recommend that in February, that we take and update our rules and regs. We don't have to do a rewrite, but just update. Instead of having it where it says addendum in the rules, incorporate those into the final rules and make that finalized. So we could put that on for February's agenda.
That's an excellent idea. That doesn't require a motion. Announcements?
Yes, sir. Normally, we get a letter from the sheriff pending retirement. However, I think we've had one slip through the crack on us. It's my understanding that tomorrow, a member of the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office is going to be recognized for retirement here tomorrow. Yes. I saw it on the read ahead. No, it was a letter. It could be the letter. But the partner that's going to be retiring is K9 Hugo. January 29th. Okay. I was told tomorrow. So, okay. So Chief Young had submitted a letter to the county commission. And if I may, it's, as I said, Hugo is the partner of Corporal Ryan Cobb. That's who's going to be recognized for the retirement. K9 Hugo, let's see, is an invaluable member of their team, contributing significantly to the safety of our community through his skills in narcotics detection, tracking, and suspect apprehension. His unwavering commitment and professionalism have led to numerous successful operations. Chief Young also stated that throughout his service, Hugo has consistently demonstrated exemplary behavior and a strong work ethic, building solid rapport with both the public and his fellow officers. His contributions in high-pressure situations have been invaluable, resulting in the successful resolution of many incidents. And it is the time to ensure that he can enjoy a well-deserved rest. It's been recommended that Hugo be honored for his service by providing him with a comfortable and supportive environment in retirement alongside Corporal Ryan Cobb and his family. So just like to throw that out there as one of the announcements, and maybe what I'd like to do is prepare a certificate for Hugo to be presented to the sheriff's office for next month. And then the next announcement I have is the next meeting is currently scheduled for February 18th, hopefully right here in this chambers. As you know, we cannot reserve the chambers until the first of every month.
Right, any other announcements? Any business from the floor? I will entertain a motion to dismiss, or to, excuse me, to recess.
I make that motion, sir.
Second.
All right, all in favor of recess, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, you are adjourned at 6:05. 6:05.
I want to thank you guys for working with us